Good morning, viewers. This is Kasturi Day. Again, I'm back with the practice questions, ICSE specimen practice questions of the physics chapter, first chapter, that is measurement and experimentation. Okay. So in my last video, I was discussing about these ICSE specimen practice questions of class 9 syllabus. Okay. So I'll be continuing with that. And before I start, I will ask you to please do subscribe my channel to stay tuned with me for getting notification of my new videos. Okay, and whatever new ideas I'm coming with, these of your videos, okay, which I'll be presenting to you. And I hope you are liking the videos. Press the like button and share with your friends so that they can also be benefited from these videos. And also I will request you to please meditate before sitting for studying. Okay, for the day studies, please meditate first and then you sit for the study, so that it will help you in increasing your concentration and remembering power. Okay, so that will help in your studies. Okay, so let me continue. I'm starting with the first question today, that is the question number 11. What are the advantages of international system of units over other systems? So the answer is the advantages of international system of units over the other units are that it is a rational system in which only one unit is used for one physical quantity. Okay, it is a rational system in which only one unit is used for one physical quantity. And it is a coherent system, which means that all the derived units can be easily obtained from the basic and supplementary units. Okay, from the basic and supplementary units, the derived units can be obtained. That means it's a coherent system. Okay, and it's a rational system because only one unit, one physical quantity will be having one unit. Third advantage is it is a metric system. Okay, this SI unit or international system of units is called as SI unit. So SI unit is a metric system, which means that it multiplies and sub-multiplies can be expressed as powers of 10. The multiplies and the multiples and sub-multiples of this metric system of the units which are being used here in this SI system, that can be expressed as power of 10. That is 10 to the power 10, 10 to the power 5, 6, like that. That 10 powers of 10, it can be expressed. Okay. So next question is, name two common units of mass which is greater than its SI unit. State their mutual relationship as well as the relations with the SI unit of mass. So the two common units of mass which are greater than SI unit and their mutual relationship as well as the relationship with other SI units of mass. Okay. So the common units of mass which are greater than the SI units, these are quintal and metric ton. So the common unit of mass according to SI unit is kilogram. So that is kg, you can call. So greater than kg is quintal and metric ton in SI system. Okay, the relationship between two units, that is between quintal and metric ton, is 1 metric ton is equal to 10 quintals. Okay, and the relationship of these units, that is metric ton and quintal with kg, is 1 quintal is equal to 100 kg and 1 metric ton is equal to 1000 kgs. Okay, hope you have understood. Next, I'm moving to the next question. That is, name the instrument you would use to measure the following: diameter of a pin, external diameter of a ball pen refill, external or internal diameter of calorimeter, thickness of a thin glass plate, thickness of a paper, diameter of a sphere, internal diameter of a test tube, and width of a table. Diameter of a pin is measured by this instrument known as screw gauge. Okay. Then external diameter of a ball pen rifle is measured by vernier calipers. Okay, then external diameter of the calorimeter is external or internal diameter of a calorimeter, that is also measured by vernier calipers. Then thickness of a thin glass plate, that is measured by a screw gauge. Thickness of a paper is also measured by a screw gauge. Diameter of the sphere is also measured by a screw gauge. Internal diameter of a test tube is measured by vernier calipers. Width of the table, it is measured by excuse me, meter rod of a meter scale or tape. Okay, that plain tape we use to measure the cloths and all those, that can also measure the width of the table. Okay, so we are moving to the next question. What will be the frequency of oscillation of a simple pendulum in a cabin that is freely falling? Cabin that is freely falling, and a simple pendulum is oscillating in that cabin under acceleration due to gravity. So when it is freely falling, when a simple pendulum is mounted in a cabin which is falling freely under gravity, its acceleration is 0 when it is freely falling. Then there's acceleration becomes 0. So A becomes 0. Therefore, the frequency of oscillation of this simple pendulum is also 0. Okay, the pendulum will not vibrate at all because the acceleration is falling. It is becoming 0. So, and this frequency is of the oscillation of the simple pendulum becomes 0. Okay, therefore, the time period what will be the time period? Time period will also be 0. So the time period is proportional to that is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity becomes 0, time period also becomes 0. Therefore, frequency also becomes 0. Okay, and therefore the pendulum will not vibrate at all. Okay, so understood that as acceleration due to gravity becomes 0, therefore what happens? The time period T is equal to 2 pi root over L by G. That is the formula of time period in the presence of length and acceleration due to gravity. So time period is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. As G becomes 0, therefore time period is also 0. Okay, because there is no square there's no I mean the time period will also become 0 because acceleration due to gravity is becoming 0. Therefore, if the time period becomes 0, the frequency will also be 0 because f is equal to 1 by t. So time period 0, then frequency is also 0. And if frequency is 0, the pendulum will not vibrate at all. Okay, next question. If the size of a bacteria is 1 micron, then how many bacteria can be found in 1 meter length? Okay, so how many bacteria will be found in the 1 meter length? See, 1 micron means 10 to the power minus 6 meters. We know that 1 micron means 10 to the power minus 6 meters, or you can say 1 millionth of a meter. So size of one bacteria as it is given that it is 10 to the power minus 6 meter or 1 micron. Okay. So therefore, there will be 1 million bacteria in 1 meter of length. Okay. 1 micron is 10 to the power minus 6 meters. Okay, so 10 to the power minus 6 meters means that is 1 by 1 million is equal to 1 micron. Okay, so therefore, what will happen? In 1 meter length, how many bacteria will be there? 1 by, yes, 1 by 1 into 10 to the power 6 million. Okay, so that means it will become what? 10 to the power, that is 10 to the power 6 meters. That is, it will become 1 million bacteria will be there. Okay. Next question is, the radius of hydrogen atom is about 0.5 angstrom. Calculate its volume in SI units. So 1 angstrom means how much? 1 angstrom means 10 to the power minus 10 meters. Okay, and the radius of hydrogen atom is 0.5 angstrom. Okay, so radius of hydrogen atom will be 0.5. We are converting 1 angstrom into meters. So 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 10. Okay, that will be in meters radius. Now volume is 4/3. If it consider the atom to be a circle, so volume of the circle will be 4/3 pi r cube. So 4 by 3 or 4/3 into 22 by 7 into the radius cube. Radius is how much? 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 10 whole cube. So that will give us 0.524 into 10 to the power minus 30 meter cube. Okay, and calculate it, and you will find this answer, that 0.524 into 10 to the power minus 30 meter cube. Next question. The earth is the heart beats once in 4 by 5 seconds. The heart beats once in 4 by 5 seconds. Okay. Now, how many times the heart beats in the life of a man? Take the average life of a man is 60 years. So in 60 years, how many times the heart will beat? Okay. So first, we will convert the years into seconds. Okay. The heart will beat once in 4 by 5 seconds. Okay. So in 4 by 5 seconds, there will be 1 heartbeat. In 60 years, how many seconds will be there? 60 into 365.24 into 24 into 60 into 60. Okay, that will be the time. Okay, now in that time, how many times the heart will beat? Okay, 1 by 4 by 5 into this time in seconds. So that will give you, that will give you 2.366 into 10 to the power 9 heartbeats. Okay, so this much time the heart will beat. This many times the heart will beat. 2.366 into 10 to the power 9 heartbeats will be there in the lifetime of 60 years. Okay, so next we are moving to next question. Compare the time period. I'm sorry again, it will be 18. The earth is approximately a sphere of radius 6.37 into 10 to the power 6 meters. What will be its circumference in kilometers? The earth is approximately a sphere. Okay, we are considering the earth to be a sphere of radius 6.37 10 to the power 6 meters. What will be its circumference in kilometers? Okay, so simple maths, that is radius of the earth is 6.37 into 10 to the power 6 meters. We are converting the first into kilometers, that is multiplying it with 10 to the power minus 3 kilometers. Okay, that will give you, that is, it's if we divide it by 1000, 6.37 10 to the power 6 divided by 1000, we will get 6.37 10 to the power 3 kilometers. Now its circumference formula is, circumference of a sphere is 2 pi r. So 2 into 22 by 7 into 6.37 10 to the power 3 kilometers. So that will give you 4 into 10 to the power 4 kilometers. Okay, next, moving to the next question. compare the time periods of two pendulum of lengths 1 meter and 9 meters. Okay, length is 1 meter and 9 meters. So what will be this time period? So thinking that acceleration due to gravity will be same, we will put into the formula, that is T is equal to 2 pi L by root over L by G. Okay, so that will the length is given, first is L1 and L2, second one is L2. So L1 is 1 meters and the L2 is 9 meters. So 2 pi gets cancelled, G gets cancelled. So what remains? 1 by 9 square root. Okay, root over 1 by 9. So root over 1 by 9, root over 1 is 1 and root over 9 is 3. So the time period will be 1:3. Okay, comparison between T1 is to T2 will be 1:3. Next question. There is some mistake in the numbering of the questions, so please ignore that. Okay, check the questions and the answer. Now, a fat boy on a diet lose 2.3 kgs per week. Okay, a fat boy on a diet, he is on diet and he loses 2.3 kgs per week. Now we need to express the mass loss ratio in mg, that is milligram per second, if the fat boy could sense the loss second by second. Okay, so what will be the calculation? See, the loss rate is 2.3 kgs per week. 1 week means 7 days and 7 days means 7 into 24 hours, and seconds is 7 into 24 into 3600 seconds. So 1 week means 7 into 24 into 3600 seconds. And now 1 kg into milligram, we are converting, that is 1000 into 1000. We're multiplying with 1000 milligram. Okay, so that will come to 2.3 into 10 to the power 6 milligram by 60, 6 lakhs 4,800 seconds. Okay, so that will give us 3.8024 milligram per second. We need to convert in milligram per second. So this is the loss rate. Okay, he is converting second by second, not by kg bar week. Okay. Next question, the last question. How can you use the screw gauge for measuring the diameter of an alpine? So how can we do that? First, we keep the stud. Okay. To measure this diameter, we need two things. One is the alpine and that is the screw gauge. Two materials are required. Now, first, what do we do? First, we make the screw gauge, keep the screw gauge, the stud of the screw gauge and the screw in contact, and we will see that if the instrument possesses any zero error or not. If it possesses the zero error, we will see whether the instrument is having positive zero error or negative zero error. Okay, and we find the zero error accordingly. That is, if it is positive, the zero error will be plus sign, and if it is negative, it will be F minus signs, and we will note it down. Now, we will see the screw gauge. If the pitch of the screw gauge is noted, say it's 1 millimeter, and the circular scale division is noted, say it's 100 divisions are there. Now we find the list count. List count, we will see pitch by number of circular scale division. So pitch will be, as I tell you, 1 meter, and the number of circular scale division will be 100 divisions will be there on the circular scale. That will give us 0.01 millimeters. So how do we find the pitch? When we are when we are turning the circular scale and just full one round when we are giving, we will see how many threads the screw is moving. Okay, so that will give us the and we will see in the main scale, how much distance of the from one division to another division, how much is the distance? If it is 1 millimeter, that will be the pitch. Okay. Now we will load the main scale reading. Now we will do that. We will keep that alpin in the in between the stud and the screw. Okay. And we will make it tight with the circular scale. That is, the stud and the screw is tightened with the alpin in between. Now we will note down the main scale division, main scale reading, by observing the mark on the main scale, which is close to the edge of the circular scale, keeping the alpin. Okay. After keeping the alpin in between the stud and the screw, we will note down the main scale reading. Okay, which the mark on the main scale that is close to the edge of the circular scale. That will be the main scale reading. Now, after the circular scale reading will also be noted, we will see that which division of the circular scale is coinciding with the main scale division. Main scale, the mark, I'm sorry, coinciding with the main scale reading. Okay. So after that, before putting the alpin, okay, this is the zero error which I'm talked about, okay, previously. So first we need to find out the zero error, then pitch, then circular scale division is noted, then we will find the least count, and then we will take the main scale reading, then we will take the circular scale reading. All complete. Now, if the instrument is having zero error, then the we will see that after finding the readings, the actual reading, we will we will either subtract the zero error from the reading, or we will add to the reading, zero error to be added to the reading to get the correct reading. So one more thing I have forgotten to tell you, that this main scale reading and circular scale reading, we will observe these readings 4 or 5 times and then make an average of that. Okay, the mean is calculated, which gives the diameter of the alpin, okay, without the zero error. And then this zero error is added or subtracted. If it is a positive zero error, that is subtracted. If it is a negative zero error, that is added to the main reading, and that will give the correct reading. Okay. So thank you for watching. This is complete. This chapter is complete now. And I will, in my next session, I will discuss the question answers of this chapter. Not the ICC specimen question answers, but this chapter question answers, which are mainly the back questions of some of the books. Okay, I'll compile some of the questions and I will discuss in my next video. So I'm preparing that. So I need some time. Probably in after in the new year we will meet again. Okay, so happy Christmas and happy New Year in advance. Okay, thank you for watching, and please do subscribe. Okay, so get the notification of my next video, and press the like button and share with your friends and colleagues so that they can also be benefited from these videos. And don't forget to meditate before sitting to study. Okay, thank you for watching and have a good day.